Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Success by Design. I am so glad that you are here because we get to have a really important conversation today. It is about what is possible for you. Yes, even right now, in the economic environment we find ourselves in, you can still create the design business of your dreams. And that may seem really far reaching. It may feel impossible. And I'm here today to have an honest conversation with you about why that is not the case. Think about your business running well. What is it like to have the people in the right seats on the bus? What is it like to have the best processes in place? So even when the people who are in the right seats on the bus fail, the processes are there to catch them. What is it like to go into the weekend and feel like you're actually going to get a weekend and not have to be checking in on your phone, not have to be checking your email, and not worried about the client calling because they finally looked at their invoice because their spouse is home for the weekend and they got to connect? These are the realities of a well-run business. I often find that there's reasons why these businesses don't work and why this doesn't happen for so many of you. In fact, I see you in my coaching practice all the time, and I love that you come to find me. I am humbled and honored to help you with this because there's a lot of lies we hear along the way, and a lot of lies we tell ourselves, like when my kids are older, or when I hire the right person, or when I have more time, or when I finally raise my prices. The reality is that you're underpaid, potentially overbooked, or worse, stuck in that someday mode. And that just isn't working for you anymore. I see you, and this is a safe place to have the conversation. If you feel like you can relate to this, if this feels like you are seen and like you are tired and like you are exhausted, you have come to the right place. Or maybe you're just frustrated and angry that your business isn't getting to where it needs to be. Let's talk about it because limiting beliefs are one of the worst things we can have as design business owners. One of the ones I hear most often is you think you have to struggle to make money. And this is an interesting belief because it lies underneath the surface. A designer won't readily come to me and say, yeah, I feel like I have to struggle in order to make money. Instead, it veils itself as I'm working 80-hour work weeks and I'm still not taking home the amount of money that I want. In fact, I think there's this belief that in order to be a real designer, we have to hustle and burn ourselves out and get completely exhausted. In fact, we even romanticize it a lot of times for ourselves, right? Like, oh, I worked until midnight, but it's totally worth it because I own my own business. I'm here to tell you it's not. Not if it's costing you joy, not if it's costing you your creativity, and not if it's costing you your life. That's why you started your business after all, wasn't it? So that you could have the life that you want. And so if you aren't having those things, we have to sit back and reassess. I remember this moment when it happened to me. My daughter was actually in a soccer league and it was wintertime. And of course, we have snow up here. And I was sitting in a gym as she was playing soccer, working on an Excel spreadsheet at 8:30 at night, putting together an entire package of 40 different projects that all had a unique bent. And I'll never forget her walking over to me and saying to me, Mommy, look, watch. And I thought, I need to look and I need to watch because I'm only going to have this little girl in my life for so long who wants to play in this really sweet soccer league. We're not looking for Olympic athletes or college scholarships, but there was a little girl who needed my attention far more than that Excel spreadsheet did. The reality is that struggle is not a requirement for success. And sometimes you just need that moment to go, this isn't worth it anymore. What I'm doing isn't working, and I need to change. It's just not what it needs to be. Imagine where you could take weekends off without guilt, or imagine creating from a point of inspiration instead of exhaustion at 10 o'clock at night, poring over the samples. This really isn't about a fantasy. It's about getting alignment between you and your business. Because when there's that alignment and that level of intentionality, it's a lot easier to create from that space than forced creativity. In fact, there's this great expression that money loves clarity and confidence. I love this line because it is so much easier to make money when you can feel confident, when you're operating from clarity and when your life is aligned. Another limiting belief I love to hear is, well, I'm brand new to design and I know it's going to take years and it's going to take a really long time to build something. Nothing could be further from the truth. In fact, I can't tell you how many young designers 3 and 4 years in are absolutely crushing it. And I am floored to be able to see what they are creating, not just when it comes to designs, but to profit generation. We do such a good job of pushing off our own success and establishing excuses as to why we can't succeed now. And I will tell you, time doesn't create success, strategy does. It's just like losing weight. The more time I give it, is it really going to get better? No. But if I have a strategy to go to the gym, if I have a strategy to get out and walk, if I have a strategy to watch my macros, which I absolutely hate doing, but welcome to middle age, then yeah, it does happen and it does work. And that's the reality of it. But also know that this isn't linear. Let's go back to the weight loss example. It is amazing to me how many times the meter goes up and then comes down 2 points, then goes up a point, comes down 2 points. It literally looks like a profile of the Alps. And a lot of times that is what it feels like to have success in your business. You are going to go up and down, but the overall trajectory is that you are moving in the direction you want to move that fits your lifestyle. Because that's what we're busy building, right? The life that you want, not the life that you think that you're going to have someday later. I feel like as women, we're really, really good at this. We're really good at pushing off our own success because, well, we have a spouse, or, well, we have children, or, well, we have the PTA, or, well, we have, and gosh, we have so many good reasons why. And they are good reasons. That's what makes this so difficult. They're not crummy. It's that they're really good reasons. It's just we have to prioritize them and realize they aren't going to fit. I love what Oprah used to say. She said, you can have it all, but you can't have it all at once. Utterly brilliant. We have to figure out what we are doing in this season of life, which is why I love coaching to clients that want to grow their businesses and scale them. But also there's times to reduce and pull back and calibrate in a direction that a lot of times isn't talked about. Reverse scaling. There's a time and a place for that too, whether you're getting ready to sell your business or have those babies, or maybe you are just tired and you want to take a break. But let's go back to that limiting belief that it's going to take years to happen. What if you decided that actually this was the moment and you stopped waiting to feel ready and started acting like an actual CEO? I hear from a lot of you who say, oh, I still feel like I have imposter syndrome. Yeah, I'm going to tell you the tough love. And I know that's why you listen to this podcast. You got to get over it. We all feel like imposters. There's always people out there doing better, more amazing, and they're off and they spoke at 500 gigs at High Point, and then they did a beautiful home in London, and on it goes. The reality is you just got to get over it, and you got to start acting like the CEO of the business that you wanted to create. Remember way back when you set out to build this business? Yeah, because that is going to get you excited and juiced again about owning your business and about creating. I also hear from you who say, well, I'm not ready yet. I'm not ready yet because I'm just not there. I don't have the money or resources to hire the help I need. I don't know if I should be showing all of this online. My website just isn't quite where I want it to be before I unroll it. Yeah, I don't really feel ready to call myself a CEO. I'm just a designer who has their own firm. I will tell you that readiness doesn't come first. The action does. And what's fascinating and what I have found in my own life is a lot of times as you're doing the action, you will realize that it's actually more true to who you are than not. And there's this moment where you sit back and you go, aha, this has worked. In fact, I remember it happening when I spoke at High Point last fall, and I was sharing the stage with a beautiful group of humans, Luann Nagara, Michelle Lynn, Rick Campos, and we were chatting about processes. And in the middle of that conversation, as Luann was sharing one of her golden gems of a story, I remember sitting back and thinking, all those years ago, when I started my business literally with a cardboard box, who thought that I would be sitting here at High Point having the conversation with these people, to a group of over 200 designers, talking about processes, the very thing that I absolutely love. How incredibly cool is that? Sometimes as designers, I think that we wait for perfection. We want everything to be perfect. We want our designs to be perfect, the website to be perfect. Even if it's messy, even if it's imperfect, I want you to start taking action because you cannot, and this is cheesy, but it's one of my favorite statements as well. You cannot steer a parked car. You can't just sit there and say, well, I really want to go left or I want to go right, or I really want to pursue this, unique aspect to my business, or maybe it's this business to business or B2B relationship. If you never pick up the phone, if you never make a move in that direction, get busy verbing, start pursuing, and realize it can be ugly and messy. And think about the first time you do anything in life. Is it ever pretty? No, but the point is the next time is going to be better. And you're never going to get there if you don't start today. In fact, I've often found that when you start showing up in these ways, those next level opportunities are going to start finding you. You're going to be amazed at who comes to you because you're not afraid to step out there, take a chance, and as one of my favorite children's books says, get messy and make mistakes. Go for it. You'll never know if you don't. So let's start thinking about what your business can really be like. I want to paint this picture for you. It's one of my favorite older movies, The Devil Wears Prada. When Glenn Close's character walks in as Anna Wintour, does she look overwhelmed? Does she look exhausted? No. The woman's carrying a Birkin. She's got a fabulous cup of coffee, a great pair of heels. And if there's one thing that her whole persona screams, it's, I have my shit together. That's not a bad image at all. Why can't that be you? Why can't you go from feeling overwhelmed to actually waking up inspired to do what led you to be so brave and become an interior designer? And what if you were unapologetically charging what you know you are worth instead of saying, it's a friend, so I'm going to give a discount, or I don't know if they'll pay that? What if you just own the space? I want you to think about too, especially in this environment, being booked and having clients who trust you completely and came to you because they realize you're the subject matter expert, not because you gave them a discount and you know that they're going to price shop you. And then the most important thing that I absolutely love is having space on my calendar to think and dream and design again. Because designing isn't just about designing spaces, it's also about designing your business. How do you want your business to look? How do you want it to function? And that is not something that should be a dream. That should be a reality because that is possible for you right now. This is why I love coaching, because I see it manifested. There's hopes and dreams and desires. There's just not the bridge of how to actually bring them to fruition, which is what I love to dive into. But I can't force you to get there, right? This is something where you have to decide that you're done having a business that you work for and that you want your business to work for you. And you have to stop doing what I lovingly call the paralysis of analysis. You gather information, you go to High Point and listen to the seminars, then you head off to other trade shows. Maybe you're a member of your local chapter of whichever design organization is available to you. But see, all of that is data collection. That's all inputs. And what I'm challenging you to do is look for outputs. What can you start building to create the dream of the lifestyle that you want, that will support you, whether it's more time with your kids, longer vacations, better vacations, higher income, maybe making your first hire that you're so excited about and you know that you need because you can't get any bigger without help. And I see you. Whatever it is, how do we get the bridge into action? Because just like designing is a verb, running your business should be as well. I want to hear from you. What are the signals that you can send me that you are getting serious about your business and actually changing things in it? Not just listening to this episode. And don't get me wrong, I'm deeply flattered that you do, but listening to me is another one of those inputs. At some point, you have to have an output, whether that's booking a problem-solving call with me, which is free of charge to you, or whether that is X, Y, or Z. You fill in the gap of what that means for you. And then I want you to share it with me. I want you to share it with me in my DMs. Message me. I respond to every message personally. And I want to hear What is the one thing you are doing today that says, I am getting serious about building the business that I intended to build back when I started this whole thing? Because you can listen to this podcast all you want, but action is what is going to bring the clarity and the results you say that you want. Let's get after it. Remember, you should have your business working for you, not you working for it.